So guys, this is not the video I was hoping for. As you probably saw at the start of the video, I was loading up this van because I found a shell, a really good clean shell, but more on that later. However, I needed to take my wheels and axle to where the shell is in order for the courier company to bring the new car shell back to my house. However, I've done about 10 miles in my work Vivaro and I heard a horrible knocking noise, and it got louder and louder and louder, and I pulled to one side and it's quite obvious that the bottom end's gone. So that's my Saturday completely ruined. I was supposed to be driving to Hemel Hempstead. Excuse me, that's probably the AA calling, so I'll be back in a minute. So that was the AA. I've told them I didn't really want just a normal AA truck coming. I wanted a recovery vehicle because it's clear the bottom end's gone, so it's going to be 60 to 90 minutes. So great. Unfortunately, this is my work van as well, and it's how I earn a living. And I've also just spent £400 having the clutch replaced in it, and I bought the van around 2 months ago, 3 months ago, no, 2 months, for 3 grand. So I'm already 3,400 quid deep, and now the engine's gone. So I've messaged the bloke who sold it to me. He fixes and repairs them, so hopefully he's got an engine in and he can do me a decent price for swapping it over, because right at this moment in time I'm absolutely livid. Doesn't help that I'm hungover as balls as well. In other news, I don't know if you can see this, but if you have a look at my thumb, it's quite clear that I got an infection. Now, I should have probably gone to the doctor this morning, or hospital, because it's throbbing and it is huge. So I need to go and get that looked at. So, great day all round. In better news, the shell I found was brilliant. It was up for £1 grand. It had a few bits on it. I'll insert some photos and information on it, because now you're not going to see it in this video, unfortunately. But I agreed with the seller, £400. The shell's absolutely mint. It's solid. It's really good. It's perfect for what I need. It's actually got a half cage, FI approved cage in it already. So I need to assess what to do. But there's a possibility I might chop the front of the cage out, the one I've got, and build it onto this one to have a full cage, but we'll assess that once I finally get the car back. The car was going to be picked up by courier on the Friday the 19th, I think it was, which is a week or 6 days time. But as I said in the last little video clip, it needs the axle and wheels, because I've literally bought it for 400 for just the bare shell, which is all I need. So that's what I was planning on doing, the 2-hour drive to Hemel Hempstead. I suppose it could have been worse, that the engine could have blown up a lot further than 10 minutes from home, and 20 minutes from home. But yeah, it's a pretty shitty situation, isn't it? So I'm going to twiddle my thumbs for an hour, 90 minutes, wait for the recovery truck, get this taken to the place where I bought it, A37 Vans I think it is, or the chap behind that, and possibly look to move all of the stuff over into my T5, and then arrange with the Samuel, the seller of the shell, when will be the best next time for me to go down and take the bits. I mean, if I can't work this coming week because I don't have a van, obviously I'll be able to do it any day this week. But anyway, I'm waffling, I'm livid. See you in a bit, guys. Friday, it's now Sunday, Mother's Day. I've just been to the van and I saw the bloke who I bought it off. He's going to take it apart either tomorrow, which will be Monday, or Tuesday to have a look at it. I've told him that it's the bottom end because I can hear it knocking. And it looks like, after reading online and looking at citizens' advice, because he's a garage, he has an obligation to fix the car. So when I had the clutch replaced on it, obviously that was 400 quid, and I only had it a few weeks, but that's wear and tear, so I paid £400 for that. But the engine blowing up is covered, so he's going to take a look at it for me and repair it. So a bit better news, but it does mean I'm going to be without my van, which is a pain. So I've taken all the stuff that I was going to take to Hemel Hempstead yesterday, and now I'm going to have to go and do that. I think I'll drive the T5 down on Thursday or Friday to get that done. So yeah, a little bit better today, considering how pissed off I was yesterday. But yeah, as I said, luckily the van should be covered by my rights. Right, little update on the work van. I spoke to the seller today. Two options. First one was to replace it with an old engine that he's got lying about, just put it in and see how it goes, or £500 paid at £250 a month for the next 2 months, and he'll rebuild the bottom end, so new bearings, new oil, new water pump, new oil pump, and all of that. So even though it's costing me another £500, at least that the bottom end and the top end was previously rebuilt. So that's that sorted. Be glad to get that back. Fortunately, I've been using a mate's van so far this week, so that's something. What else is the next update? The other thing, a little update on the T5. I'm not keen on these rear lights. Well, they're not quite the worst ones, if you like, with the yellow indicator. However, I bought these ones, which look much more modern, a lot more like the T6. So I'm going to put you on time lapse, and you'll see me fitting these. So yeah, let's get them installed. Right, so what you see me do there is just change the normal indicator bulbs to Silvertech bulbs. And the reason why you do that is so you don't see the horrible orange glow in there. It's now pure white instead of a little orange which would show across here. So they're fresh, they're ready to go on. However, it looks like somebody's been butchering the cables here. I'm guessing the reason for that is there's an extra set of cables that are coming off here, which go down to these, I'm guessing. So they've just been cut and then squeezed on with these. However, I've got some heat shrink ones, which are much better. So you're about to see me install those then. Install those now. So yeah, let's get that sorted. Rear lights are on the van. I think I like them, not overly impressed with them. They're better than the previous ones, it makes it look a bit more modern. So job done. However, I say job done, it needs a wiring finishing off, because you have to change it from the T5 to the T5.1 wiring, and they didn't send me the paperwork or the removal tool to do that, so I can do that later in the week. So for now, just before I finish up for the day, you've seen me tidy up the garage. I'm now going to remove this fuel tank, which will only take a few minutes, and then I need to take the fuel pump out of it because it's an uprated one. Once I've done that, I'm going to probably make a start at least on this top edge, removing this wing. But I really need to start making an effort to sort this out, because on Friday the replacement Puma shell arrives, so I don't really want to have 3 Pumas here, and I'm sure Sean won't either. So I need to fuel tank, rear wing, and then strip the cage. So yeah, let's do as much as we can now. So I made the fatal mistake of saying removing the fuel tank will only take a minute, yeah, or it was going to be easy. Well, it wasn't. I've not even removed it. I've only removed the one bolt so far, and the others started rounding up, so I need to assess that. Right, so you've just seen me remove the other wing. If I show you this section here, you'll see that they cut that there to bond it close to the car. Now this one, where they put the welds, anywhere it had a weld, has completely perished. However, because this section is in the door sill bit, and this bit is all on the underside, the main areas here, which are exposed, are okay. They're not rotted through, which is good, which is really good in fact. So I need to strip all this back to bare metal and reshape it slightly. All this section here is okay. The boot line area needs a bit of work, so I'll have to look into that. Basically these arches, I think you can still get some plastic alternatives, but they're still like £900. Excuse me. But I'd like to reuse these old Racing Puma ones, and I'm sure with seeing what I've seen other fabricators do, they can work magic. So I'm sure they could, if I struggle to get it ready to go back on the car, I could pay someone who knows what they're doing to. Yeah, so where the spot weld was, anywhere it was welded, obviously wasn't quite treated properly, so any moisture in there started rusting. So again, that's all within the boot line, but the actual main panel, which you'll see, is in pretty good order. This boot needs bending back in, and this is the bit which sits on inside the door. So again, I think this can be saved. It looks pretty rough at the minute, but I'm confident I can get this to work again. I think the reason why Harry, or whoever, Harry being a previous owner who originally put the panels on a long time ago, it seems that the car had some pretty substantial sill damage. So the reason why they cut that slither was to bend it into here, and then they've used a load of filler to reshape it. Now I can understand why, you know, if it was a customer's car, it was going to be a full professional build, you wouldn't do it this way. But because it had one goal of being a track car and just as used as a rally car, they did what was required to make it look sufficiently good enough. So again, looking at the rust here, you can see that's completely shot. So yeah, I'm glad I swapped this shell. So waffling a bit, I'm glad to have got that other one off. Left to do fuel tank and cage. As you can see, the cage in there all needs to come out. I need to go and get some angle grinders and some decent tools in order to remove that. I'm driving to Hemel Hempstead on Friday, which will be the start of the next video, and I'll be taking the rear axle, wheels, and as told at the start of this video, to put on the car, and then a courier is picking up the car and bringing it back here for £128, which I thought was really cheap. So I'm really happy about that. So as of Friday, I'll take the day off work, I'm going to have 3 Pumas here. So I need to, as quickly as possible, get this cage out and get this rotten shell away and make sure I get any other little bits off it that I think I need. Then from there I'll decide if putting the other shell on the spit. Then the idea is to check the shell and make sure it's in good order, and then start painting it up and getting all the bits in it. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm glad that I've worked this evening to get that other arch off. It's another job ticked off the list. Sorry, this video was probably pretty miserable with my van blowing up, but that was a complete nightmare. But at least that's being resolved, and I should have that back next week as well. So thanks for watching all. I hope you enjoyed the content on this one and the build so far. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and if you think anybody else would enjoy the content, please share my links and the latest videos with them, and hopefully they'll subscribe as well. But for now, I'm going to leave you. I'm really happy with what I've achieved. So that's all for now, because I've got to get on.